Happy Thursday! Yay! You've got Jenna in rainy Tyler, Texas. I'm in Ben Wheeler. We're practically neighbors. Perrysburg, Ohio, and Hoglegs also in East Texas. Hey, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. I am Mary from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and for those of you just joining me for the first time, welcome. For those of you joining me for the regularly, welcome back. Let me just get myself situated here. I can trying to see it, everybody. All right. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, every week I try to go live here, and I try to share helpful information to help you grow a healthy garden. We have so much going on at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I was originally going to go live in my garden tonight and share with you some of my beautiful beans. If you saw the preview, what they call the thumbnail here on my YouTube channel, was some really pretty beans that we've been harvesting lately. Unfortunately, but fortunately, it's raining, so I'm undercover today. I can't go out in my garden. I already got soaked more than once today, specifically harvesting beans for lunch and then harvesting beans for this video. So, you just get me today. You don't get my beautiful garden. But if you follow me on different social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I will be sharing some more beautiful bean footage. So tonight I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask your questions. So tonight is a garden Q&A. And then throughout the evening, my short video, I try not to take too long. Throughout my short video, I'll also share with you a couple of beans. So first I'll show them to you, kind of. I don't want to dump them over. I don't want to dump them over on the ground. But I've got some pretty unique beans to share with you today. And then at the same time, ask your questions. So as we chat today, oh my gosh, I was missing all these comments. I apologize. Hey Joanne, or Joan, sorry. Hey Caitlin, also in Ben Wheeler. Hey Cheryl, hey DJ Harper, hey Rawlings, you made it. Okay, for some reason the comments weren't popping up, so I'll try and look a little better next time. So as I discuss different questions, answers for your questions, feel free to continue to ask them. And if I missed your comment, please don't feel like I'm ignoring you on purpose. I don't always see them. Hey Christian, thanks for joining me. So sometimes the comments go through and I can't really figure it out. Hoglet says, how long to leave sweet potato slips in water before planting? So if it's just the slip, I rarely leave it in the water for more than 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. It really just depends on what you're planting. Generally with my sweet potato slips, I take them back. I do them from sweet potato, not necessarily buying sweet potato slips. So that is a different question altogether. If you bought sweet potato slips, then usually they're ready to go after a couple days. What I do is I trim my sweet potato slips directly from my sweet potato, and I root them for a week or so before I go ahead and plant them. So I hope that answers your question. Hey Jenny, thanks for joining us. Hey Tina, thanks for joining us as well. So tonight's topic is beautiful beans, but also it's a Q&A, so you can ask your questions and I'll try to answer. If I don't answer your questions, or if you're watching, hey Moonbling, if you're watching the replay, you can send me an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com, and I do try to answer your questions. In the area below, I have links. You're going to see under the video some information, and you click more. And that's the description section of this video, and you'll find links to my comprehensive planting guide. You'll find links to my email list if you want to sign up to receive our emails, and then a couple of videos as well. The very first comment in this live chat was me. I sent you a link to check out our seed sale. The seed sale is ending on May 17th. It is May 16th right now. So you have a little over 24 hours to check out the seed sale. We've got seed packs starting at only $1 each, so definitely check them out. Are you ready for some beautiful beans? Now I've got this nice little display here. And the first one I'm going to do is provider bush beans. So one of the questions that was asked on my Facebook page was about beans and what are good green beans or snap beans that you're going to eat fresh versus dry beans. And can you eat a dry bean like a fresh bean? The answer to that is sometimes. And I know it can be confusing, so I wanted to share a little bit. Today I have all green beans, but they're not just green, but they're snap beans. So a snap bean is what you would typically find in a grocery store as a green bean. This one in particular is Provider Bush Bean. It's a beautiful green color, and you can eat this raw, you can eat this fresh, or you can pickle it. And I will spare you of me eating them on camera because, I don't know, I have a thing about, the people munching with their open mouths and talking and chewing at the same time on a video. So I'll spare you that. It's Caitlin, every time I talk about beautiful beans today, I have said, roll that beautiful bean footage probably 10 times. It's probably driving my husband crazy at this point. Hey Shirley, so this is a Provider Bush Bean. It's a green bean, and it is a fantastic snap bean. Like I said, you can eat this raw, you can eat this cooked, you can it. I make dilly beans, which is a pickled green bean, and it is amazing. After my video, I'll share in the comment section, I'll share a link to my recipe to make dilly beans. All right, so I got something extra special for you as well. These are Royalty Purple Potted Bush Beans. These are fantastic. So Kaylin at Elbin Knowles Farm had mentioned these on numerous occasions, and she likes these because they make it easy to harvest. So think about it. You've got these beautiful green plants, these green bushy bean plants, and you've got green beans. So the cool thing about these are they're so much easier for you to see them. The flowers of these are a bright purple. The flowers on the Provider Bush Beans are a lighter purple, more like a light lilac color. I don't know what all of the blooms look like, but I know for a fact that these are a beautiful purple. So Royalty Purple Potted Bush Beans, fantastic. I love them. Now I will say this, they turn green when you cook them. So I actually did a dilly bean, a couple cans of dilly beans with purple potted, and the actual liquid turned a different color because the color kind of seeped out of it. So Purple Potted Bush Beans, Royalty Purple Potted Bush Beans. These are a fantastic one as well. Now I'm going to share with you something a little more unique, maybe not more unique than purple. I mean, I love purple. And these are Roma beans. These are it's not a semi-vining, but it sprawls out with a little bit of arms, more so than a regular bush bean. And if you see these, they're wide and flat. These are what is used for French cut beans. I'll remember that in particular. I think it's, French style beans. French style beans. It's not necessarily something that I'm used to eating fresh because it's not something I grew up eating. But what they do is there's a special machine. You can actually get one for home use. And you can actually, it slices these lengthwise. And so that's what French style beans are. You can find them in the grocery store in a can. But I kind of avoid the grocery store canned stuff because I really like my home canned stuff. But this is fantastic. And this is one that one of my customers asked me specifically about because she grew up eating French style beans. So I was like, oh, well, these are great. This is an Italian bean, and it's called a Roma bean. So these are large, flat, wide beans. I love them. They are delicious. Again, it's very hard for me to not just chew on one of these right now because they're so delicious. But I'll spare you that you don't have to watch me eat on camera. So anyway, if you guys have questions tonight, seed, garden related questions, I am thoroughly enjoying this rain we're having here, and it's about to get really hot. I have a class I am teaching in Lovekin on Tuesday the 21st. It is the noon gardening program with the Master Gardeners of Angelina County, and it is at the Angelina County Extension Office. So I'll try to share the information in the comments after this, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'll meet new people and share some more information about being a a mostly feral gardener. Hey Dreamweavers, thanks for joining me. It is a little crazy here. Yeah, you've got some rain where you are. So I'm looking out. We've got some thunder. We've got some lightning. But it's another gorgeous day here in East Texas, so there's no complaints here. So tonight's topic is Beautiful Beans Garden Q&A. So if you've got questions, please ask. I'm always happy to help. Yesterday I was interviewed by a really fun lady, and she's from East Texas now, and I discussed some of the different things I'll be talking about for my my class I'm teaching next week, so that's going to be kind of fun. See, DJ Harper says, want to try sugar snap peas. Can they be started growing during the winter? I would suggest no. Snap peas are a cool weather crop, so they may suffer in the summertime, even in Arkansas. I imagine it gets pretty hot where you are. Krista says you're Raymond storms all day. So DJ Harper, if you want to grow snap peas, I would suggest either starting them very early in the year for your spring crop or later on in the year for a fall crop. So my suggestion would be find your first frost date, which is your fall frost date, and then you want to count back about 80 to 90 days. Because generally it takes snap peas about 60 days it's 60 days to harvest, and sometimes they take 5 to 7 days to germinate. So really you could get away with 70 days because they are more cool tolerant than others. But again, it really depends on your frost dates. But snap peas are a cool weather crop. Now, these beans that I'm talking about today, David Gray says summer in Arkansas would fry the peas. For our area in East Texas, which you probably have a very similar growing season, I plant mine in February, and then I plant another round in September or October. If you go back through my live chats, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I did a video about specific varieties that will germinate in cooler soil temperatures compared to others. So peas are one on my list. Snap peas, I should say. Snap peas are different than southern peas. Southern peas, you can plant those right now. Southern peas are more of a harder seed, and they're generally harvested for the actual seed inside, similar to a black-eyed pea, also called a Crowder pea or a cow pea. Those are heat tolerant, and they would do fantastic during the summertime. But for snap peas, wait till fall and then plant your next crop. And now for another amazing bean, and this one is more heat tolerant than others. All of these beans I'm discussing right now, you can grow throughout the summer. David Gray says try planting in the fall when the temps are in the 70s and lower. Great suggestion. Alrighty everybody, so my all-time favorite is the jade bush bean. And I'm going to share with you the longer of them and show you the difference. Now, this isn't totally accurate because sometimes you can grow provider beans just as long as your jade bean. But look at the size difference. Oh, I should go scoot back a little bit. All right, so the provider bean at this size is perfect. It's tender, it's juicy, and it's not super stringy. Okay? Jade bean, on the other hand, hey Dog Flower Gardens, thanks for joining us. I love your name. So the jade bush bean is a little longer. It is still just as tender, just as juicy and delicious. Again, I'm trying not to eat on camera because these are all delicious. But the jade bush bean is far more heat tolerant than most of the other beans that I personally have grown. I did a side-by-side comparison last year with the Blue Lake bush bean, which is hands down the most popular bush bean at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. But the jade bush bean, not only did it outlast the Blue Lake bush bean, but it outperformed. And I'm not saying that that is always going to be the case. I'm just saying that it's possible that in a side-by-side comparison, the jade bush bean might win out in your own garden as well. Hey, Jackie Jacks, you're a seedaholic. Welcome to the club. I kind of have a thing for seeds myself. Alrighty, everybody. So I've shown you a comparison. And honestly, if I were to look at these on the table, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but I know what I planted because I labeled my plants. That's one of the jokes that we discuss in our feral gardening group is labeling your plants, because sometimes stuff happens and you forget, or your tags get lost or something. So definitely try and label your plants. So these are my jade bush beans. I absolutely love them. Super fantastic. Let's see, I'm going to answer a question before I get to my next bean. Hogleg says, is there any truth to companion planting tomatoes and bush beans and not using pole beans? And if that's true, why? Now, I haven't heard that, so I can't answer your question specifically. I can say that maybe the bush beans are better for a couple reasons. Let me say, I haven't heard specifically bush beans and pole beans, but if I had to think about it, I would say that the pole beans may climb up or choke out your tomato plant because it's going to climb and it's going to grab and it's going to wrap around things, whereas a bush bean is going to stay shorter, it's going to be more compact, and it's going to cover more ground near your tomato, which will give you a natural shading on your soil so that it keeps your soil from drying out. Now, that's just my opinion. If I had to kind of think about logically, like, why wouldn't you plant a pole bean with a tomato versus a bush bean with a tomato? So that's just my 2 cents. But you've given me something to check out tonight. I will do a little bit of research on hog legs. I have your email, so I can answer your question in the comments later, and I can also send you an email. Dog Slobber says you agree that bush beans would be a better mix for tomatoes. And honestly, pole beans are fantastic. I don't know what it is. I have this thing for bush beans. I really like bush beans. I'm short. Hey, Garden State so-and-so, thanks for joining us. Christian said, can a root-bound tomato plant recover once planted in the ground? Yes. If you were planting a tomato, it was maybe transplanted and it was root-bound in its container, and then you transplanted into the soil or into the ground, into a larger container or into a raised bed. There's so many different ways of transplanting tomatoes. It might recover. You're going to need to make sure that it has you're going to need to make sure it has plenty of nutrients, plenty of water, and good loamy soil. You want to make sure that you're not transplanting a root-bound tomato into hard, compact clay soil, because it may never recover. So let me answer this question really quick. David Gray says, has anyone had any luck planting beans next to onions? Not supposed to be compatible. So I have in one of my raised beds that I planted the next bean that I'm about to show you. I had a rogue onion. I did not harvest it. I'm imagining that the greenery fell off or died off, and I didn't notice that there might be an onion still there. Or maybe it was the seeds germinated much later after I had already harvested and pulled everything out. So I'm looking at a raised bed right now, and it's got 2, I'm going to call them rogue onions. And in that rogue onion bed, I have Swiss chard, I have right next to it, and I have squash right next to it. And then on the other side of that squash is beans. So maybe, maybe not. They're not planted right next to each other, but they are planted in the general vicinity. It could be that they aren't compatible because maybe you have some of the same pests. I'm not totally sure, but maybe that's something. I'm not totally sure, but I'll also look that up for you, David Gray. So I have one more bean to share with you. This is the bean that's growing with my rogue onion. Allison says, hi, I'm in Mesquite. My tomato plant sprouted and grew about 4 inches. What hasn't been washed out has been stalled since mid-April. Do I pull it out and do it over again and give them a chance still? Give them a chance. Always give them a chance. Now, I will say this. Because we have had so much rain, it can stunt your plants. It can also wash them out so that they aren't able to uptake nutrients. In a plant health Q&A video I did maybe 2 weeks ago, I specifically discussed this issue. It's not necessarily that the water is washing out the nutrients from your soil as much as it's washing it out and hindering the uptake of nutrients from the soil to your plant. I don't know about your upcoming weather, but here in East Texas, today's the last day of good rain. So for me, we're already a couple of weeks or months into planting our seeds, so I'm definitely going to give them a chance. I'm not seeing massive growth in my tomatoes. I'm seeing full growth, but they are on the more stunted side. So I'm hoping that once it starts to dry out, the tomato plants will spend more energy making tomatoes and not necessarily growing up super tall. So Allison, I hope that answered your question. Hey Terry, thanks for joining me. Let's see, Buffy says, just getting started gardening again after not having done it for so many years. So all this information is helpful. Awesome. Thank you very much. For those of you just joining me, and thank you so much. We have so many people joining me tonight. Down below, underneath the video, there are several links. You click the more button. I call it the description section of this video. And you will find links to my comprehensive planting guide. Super awesome. Tons of information. You'll find links to my e-newsletter sign up. It's free. We don't sell your information. And I send weekly emails with some awesome information to help you grow. This morning, I sent out an email about food storage prepping in the garden. It's a series that I did that was really good, and I'm going to be adding to it. So I wanted to introduce you guys to it. David Gray says, I forgot and accidentally planted my onion sets where I was supposed to be planting pole beans. You did leave some space. Try it out. Let me know how it works. I mean, there's a reason I started a group. We've got a Friends of Mary's Heirloom Seeds Facebook, and it's called Mostly Feral Gardeners. And that's because I am most definitely a mostly feral gardener. Oh, Hogleg said you like my new website. Thank you so much. It took me a lot of work. I'm not a techie person. I would so much rather be digging in the garden and playing with seeds, really, and educating people about how to grow. But it was time for our website to get a grown-up update. And so here we are. We've got a new look to our website. It's great because it allows for more helpful information. There's more available to our customers. So I hope you really enjoyed it. And Krista says, love the journal books. I'll share a link to that at a later time as well. So last but certainly not least are my not dragon tongue. Somebody asked me about those. These are tongues of fire bush beans. They look similar to dragon tongue, but I'll explain to you in just a second why it's not. So these are green with pink streaks. This side's a little less green, and this side is way more pink. Let's see. This one is more pink on that side, not so pink on that side. And that side is pink and pink as well. So these are tongues of fire bush beans. Now, somebody said, well, that looks like a dragon tongue bush bean. And the difference between a dragon tongue bush bean and a tongues of fire bush bean, both of them have that flat, wide look to the bean, but the dragon tongue has more purple streaks and a more yellow bean. Not a yellow bean, but more yellow than green. So they do look totally different if you plant them next to each other. And of course, I got rained on while I was trying to collect these beans, so I didn't get a chance to grab some dragon tongue beans, but I'll share those with you at a later time. I've got some blue beans that I'm growing this year for seed, so hopefully you'll see those in our updated online catalog for 2025. So tonight's topic was beautiful beans, but also a garden Q&A. Every Thursday I go live at 5 p.m. Central Time, and I try to share helpful information. I try to answer questions that have been asked either on social media or in an email, because there's a lot of great information out there and people ask me questions and I like to be helpful. So if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And because we had so many awesome people join me for my live chat tonight, I'm going to go ahead and also do a giveaway, a seed giveaway this weekend. If you haven't already signed up for my email, check out the description section below. Look for the email sign up. Enter your email. Like I said, we don't sell your information. We don't share it with outside sources. We only use it for our emails. And then I'll send out that giveaway, and you can sign up for our giveaway. I do a giveaway every month. It is awesome. I have so much fun giving away seeds. Speaking of being a seedaholic, I don't just like to grow them, I also like to share them as well. And also in the comment section of the live chat, if you scroll all the way up to the top, is a link to my seed sale. The seed sale ends on May 17th. It is May 16th, so you have just over 24 hours to check it out. Alrighty, everybody. So if you're watching the replay and you have questions, you can always send an email to Mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. I am Mary. Yes, there really is a Mary. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I would normally be planting some seeds tonight, but since it's raining, I'll go ahead and have a snack and plant my seeds tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and happy planting.